Here are two ways to make a buffalo or gingham pattern on your floor. The first thing you need to do is pick out your colors. So the rule for the colors, you have the first color, the second color, and a third color, which is a combination of those two. For example, I could start with white and black and gray, or red and blue and purple. You could even go crazy and just use different shades of the same color. To demonstrate, I'll be sticking with the basics. Easy mode, start with that middle color and click on every other tile like this to make a checker pattern. Now checker and buffalo is not the same. This would be a checker, a series of squares where every other one is a different color. However, because a buffalo pattern is made of two colors that are interwoven in such a way that it creates a blend and a sort of third color for squares, it's different. So now take your first color and you're only going to do every other square, or the empty squares, on every other row, like this. And then your third color to fill in what's remaining, which will be every other square on the every other row. It's a little bit hard to read the pattern here with the fence. I just wanted to show you the grid. Once we remove it, it blends much better and will be even easier to see the larger scale you have it on. I recommend doing this pattern on at least a 3x4 tile area, which is what I started on. If you're working in a smaller space or just want smaller tiles, you can also do it on the diagonal. So for that, start with that middle color again, except this time press Ctrl F or whatever other controls are on the screen to get this quarter tile. Now, once again, you're going to start with essentially a check pattern, but you have to be a little bit more careful with how you're placing it because we're doing triangles back to back to make tiny tiles. If I bring the grid up, you can see how this lines up with the grid. It will appear to have the pattern running on a diagonal and it's much smaller than our other pattern. Same rules apply otherwise though. Take your first color and color in the empty squares on every other row. So if I start here, I will also do this row and then this row, and remember to work on that diagonal, and also this row. And then I'll grab my last color and do the remaining squares. If I make my first room the same size again, you can see just how much more pattern fits in with the diagonal method, but it's a little bit more finicky, so I would say that's like intermediate level flooring pattern. If you want to see hard level flooring pattern, come back next time when I talk about plaid. But wait, there's more. My last hack. Let's say maybe we did want that red, blue, purple. I'm going to start with the purple, right? My middle color. I'm going to put my mouse over the gray, my previous middle color. I'm going to hold shift and it will only color in the same floor type and color in the specific room. So we'll do that again. I'm going to pick the other color I want, like red, pick what I want to replace, in this case the black. I'm going to press shift and it will only replace the same tile piece or the same floor type and swatch. And the blue, finally, hold shift again. Pretty nifty. For a last example, here's that brick I showed you earlier. You can see how it almost looks like a stained stone at this point, and that pattern comes through really crisp. Fantastic. So yeah, anyway,